In this video, I want to challenge your thoughts about whether starting a YouTube channel in 2025 is worth your time. There are loads of videos like this all over YouTube. This particular one is different because, like you, potentially, I'm a very new YouTube creator. As at the time this particular video is being shot, it is December 24, 2024. I literally have not launched this channel.
What are we even doing here?
Yet, I think it's worth starting a YouTube channel in 2024. Now, just a bit of a backstory.
Story time.
My first attempt to start a YouTube channel was likely sometime in May 2012. And that's about 13 years ago, which gives you a sense of just how long I've played with the idea of YouTube. Back then I was still in uni and I didn't want to put my face out there. YouTube was still something very new. I was still very much into anime.
Anime boa!
I think the title of the first video I did was Jiraiya versus Itachi. Don't laugh.
Sorry for the laugh.
It was supposed to be like a versus video to say who would win if they fought. If you're familiar with the Naruto manga, this probably sounds familiar and maybe even makes sense. But that's just how long ago I first started playing with the idea of being on YouTube. But I never actually did it because I'm actually more of an introvert than an extrovert. And the idea of putting myself out there, it doesn't appeal to me. Not just that it didn't appeal to me back then, it still doesn't appeal to me today. It's not so congruent with my personality. Yet, in spite of these impediments, I think having a YouTube channel is very, very worthwhile. So in this video, I'll be talking through the different reasons why that is. Personal barriers aside, timing, and so on and so forth. For me, when I decided in 2024, you know what, I'm going to try it. Let's have a YouTube channel. The first thing I worried about when I thought, is this worth it, was that there's so many creators out there. Like right now, YouTube probably has over 100 million channels, very likely. And I'll talk through a bit of numbers later in the video, but probably easily over 100 million channels on YouTube. That sounds like it's oversaturated. What am I going to talk about that is new? What niche isn't fully covered? The YouTube algorithm is too hard to beat now. Once upon a time, you could just go viral. But today, like, there are people doing all these awesome, amazing stuff. Edit here, edit there. What am I going to do? What do I have to say? There's AI content and AI videos and faceless channels, which means that the platform is actually flooded, even by people who don't necessarily want to show their face. And almost every Tom, Dick, or Harry has a channel these days. Most of channels that seem to do well off the bat are people who have already done very well in one space or the other. So they're super popular on Facebook, not really Facebook, because
what I trying to say,
they're super popular on like TikTok, Instagram. I'm not that. In fact, the reason this channel name, again, this channel has not been created.
Heard you the first time.
But when it is created, the name is going to be Fighting Mediocrity. So the reason this channel name is Fighting Mediocrity is because that's exactly how I feel. Like, I've mostly been relatively mediocre, at least from an outcome standpoint. So my point being, I'm not a superstar. And maybe you aren't either. So what are the odds? What do the odds look like? Is it still worth it? Is the effort going to be rewarded? I get you. I feel the exact same way. So why should you do YouTube? Anybody can do this. Most people don't do it. Why don't they do it? I would say the biggest reason most people don't do it, most people don't have need for a YouTube channel. First, most people don't think too much about their personal brand. Second, when you talk about having a YouTube channel, a lot of people default to their personal inclinations. Oh, I'm shy. Oh, I don't want to be on the camera. Oh, this, oh, that. If you're in that category, the truth is, so am I. I don't need this. I currently don't have a product I'm selling. I literally don't really have a personal brand of any sort online. So why is it still worth it in spite? Well, first, because it's always a good time to start building a personal brand. Second, because the best time to build things is exactly when you don't need it.
That's facts. Facts.
So if you're at the position where you don't need a YouTube channel now, because you don't have a personal brand, because you don't have a product you need to sell, because there isn't anything that sort of forces you or compels you to have an audience that you can reach out to easily, you're in the best position to actually be building a channel. Because when you do need it, it's going to be a bit too late. So if you don't need a channel, start building a channel. The second reason, and I'll take the next two at the same time, which is fear of success and fear of failure. It's very interesting how most people would say, I don't start a YouTube channel because, I need to work on my looks. I need to craft a brand. People do so many gymnastics to come up with great reasons why tomorrow is a better day to start doing something that they should have actually started yesterday. In my own situation, for instance, I actually hate my voice. I still don't like the sound of my voice. But I guess the point is, I have those same challenges. So how do you figure your way around those kinds of challenges, like your personal inhibitions against taking action? You don't.
Come again?
Instead, here's a better way to go about things.
Let's hear what he has to say!
When I say, oh, I don't like the sound of my voice, when you say that, you unconsciously are actually suggesting that you think your channel will be successful. A lot of people would see it, and whatever you're worried about is going to make you feel bad.
Well, yeah.
But truth is, the odds of your channel being successful are not necessarily that high. Like, let's say 5% of YouTube channels are successful. What are the odds your channel will be successful? Maybe not so much.
Why am I doing this?
So when most people say, I don't want to start a YouTube channel or do this thing because I might look this way or I might look that way or I'm scared of this or I'm scared of that, there's a presumption that they are going to be successful and a lot of people are going to see their channel.
That's the plan.
That is not guaranteed. If a lot of people don't see your channel, it's just going to be like it's a video on your phone, so it won't matter. And then people immediately switch to the other side, which is fear of failure. Okay, if nobody's going to see the videos I'm going to create, why then should I create a channel? And my answer to that would be, one, actually pick up very useful skills, how to write scripts, how to shoot videos, how to edit videos, how to communicate clearly, and so on and so forth. So you find out things about yourself that you probably didn't know about yourself before. And third, as much as success is not guaranteed, neither is failure.
Okay, that makes sense. Continue.
So it's worth a shot because you might actually be successful. Fourth thing for me in that regard is YouTube is such an awesome library to document how you've grown or evolved. One of the best things I like to do whenever I see a YouTube channel is I go to the channel, I click on videos, and then I see, you see these three buttons at the top would say latest, most popular, and oldest. When I see a channel that I kind of like, I would love to watch the latest video and the most popular video and the oldest video. And when you do that, you see this awesome progression of how the creator has gone from like, this is the latest video and this is the quality they are operating at. And then you see their most popular video. And a lot of times, most popular video is not necessarily better than latest video. There's this channel, Psych Hacks, Dr. Ryan, and when he talks about his own YouTube journey, he talks about how, for instance, when he started YouTube, he decided he was going to put out something like 100 videos before he ever thinks about whether it's working or not. So just videos, and he won't even double check, is this working? Should I keep going? He'll just try to hit 100 before he does that. Obviously, he became very successful on YouTube way before 100. But the point is, many of the successful creators have that mindset that I'm just going to put out a huge amount of output for a significant period of time before I ever look to see, is it working? Is it not working? So it's like this, right? At the beginning, people are scared of success. But the truth is, success at the beginning is very unlikely. But that's great because it gives you the time to learn without having the pressure of needing to be either perfect or even very good. So start doing the work. And truth is, if you keep going, failure is unlikely if you're relatively consistent and you focus on how you can improve. Awesome. Now, the fourth thing is people say, I don't know what to say. Now, there's a channel here that I think is really interesting. So this guy, all he's doing, he comes on YouTube, he does push-ups. If you go to his oldest video, same thing. I think that video has 10 views or something. I don't know. Same thing. Push-ups says nothing. The channel is literally titled 1K push-up challenge. And it's interesting because now he's doing videos that get 200 views regularly. I think he has a few videos with over 1,000 views. Now, in the world of YouTube, 1,000 videos is nothing. The reason we see 1K and we don't value it is because we can't see the people watching. But when you think about the fact that behind every view, there is a person who was watching that video, that's quite a large number. The second thing is when you consider the fact that he isn't actually saying anything. He just comes, does his press-ups and leaves. Yet the algorithm has been able to push him, and now he's getting about 1,000, in some cases, views per video. So for people who say, oh, I don't know what to say, you may not have to say anything. You could find a challenge you want to do and just do it. If nobody comes to see it, that's fine because you just started. do another one, get better, keep doing it. Now, some of the other reasons people might not want to go into YouTube might be they feel they don't have the time for it, or they don't have the technical skills that it requires. But when you look at certain creators, so think of people like Gary Vee or even John Lee, accepted that these are seasoned creators, but you see that one of the things they do, for instance, is these are also extremely busy people. They're on the go, they whip out like a phone, they have a video stabilizer, they're on the move, they're recording videos and just shooting on the go. Now, because these people are so like well seasoned in content creation, they can do this easily. So if you're trying to do it and you're new, you're not going to create great videos from the beginning. But like I already said, your goal should not be to create great videos from the beginning. The truth is, creating great videos, especially at the beginning, is largely a distraction. Now, if you're lucky enough to be able to actually create really good videos, power to you, but it's a plus, it's a bonus at best. It shouldn't be something you start out hoping or thinking or wishing that you would have a video that becomes very successful overnight. Typically, success takes time, and quick success is very often the enmity of growth.
Wise words.
Because if you face disappointment after a season of quick success, you might find yourself more discouraged than you would have been if you never experienced that success in the first place. So creating good videos is a distraction. If you feel you don't have time, get into the practice of like creating videos on the go while you're in the middle of your day. The next thing is like the technical skill bit, and to that I would say many people create videos that they don't edit. A good example would be even the push-up challenge video that I talked about a minute ago. Those videos are not edited. So even if you lack the technical skills, the truth is you can still start off that way. The final reason, in my opinion, why people sometimes are hesitant to get into YouTube is some people feel that YouTube is too saturated. So for instance, in 2022, YouTube had about 51 million channels and was growing at around 36% year on year. If you do the math for that, by 2024, and at least YouTube likely has over 100 million channels. And that's just assuming that it kept growing at 36%. It probably has grown even faster than that. So many creators are already successful. In 2016, only about 2,000 channels on YouTube had 1 million subscribers. Only about 700 channels had over 10 million subscribers. In 2022, at least in January, only 29,000 channels have over 1 million subscribers. Now, that means out of 51 million channels on YouTube in 2022, only about, let's call it 30,000 channels had over 1 million subscribers. Here are some more numbers that I think are even more interesting. 93% of videos on YouTube have less than 1,000 views. There are some stats that show that about 68% of YouTube channels don't have any views, like literally 0 views. That means even though YouTube probably has 100 million channels, some 60-something million of them don't have any videos on them. In fact, if you have a channel with over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, you're in the top 90%. Literally, only 8.6% of channels on YouTube have over 1,000 subscribers, which sounds like a very small number for internet numbers. And the point to that is, when you really think about it, it takes very little effort to be in the top 10% in any endeavor. To be in the top 10% global earners would take somewhere around $30,000 to $35,000 per year. Where things start to get difficult is when you're trying to get into like over the top 1%. So you're trying to get into top 0 point something percent, and then things start to get difficult. If it's just breaking in, getting to top 10%, that's not too difficult. So when you hear, oh, YouTube has over 100 million channels, you shouldn't think, oh, YouTube has over 100 million Mr. Beasts. There's just one Mr. Beast. And my point is, even though the number of channels on YouTube seems like a lot, the number of channels that are doing really well, or you could consider strong competition, are not that many. Now, why should you do YouTube? First, people are still blowing up. There are a ton of channels that I've seen that have done really well in very short periods of time. For instance, last year, I started the Faceless channel. Started in December. In about 2-3 months, it had amassed over 4,000 subscribers because there was one video I did that blew up just because of the timing. There was nothing, it wasn't a great video. Nothing special about it. It was a faceless video, AI generated content, AI generated audio, AI everything, but it blew up. Over 100K views in 2 weeks or something. It was crazy. I was refreshing every day. I loved it.
Of course you did.
But still, I didn't think it was the direction I wanted to go. Now, why do I mention? Because there's still a ton of channels that are blowing up. That channel I launched that channel in 2023 December. It blew up as the new year rolled in, got over 100K subs in 2 weeks. That was 2024. So this is still happening. There are tons of channels not started by celebrities, started by even faceless channels blowing up. Some of my favorite, for instance, are channels like African Tales by Chi. Last I checked, it had about 62,000 subs, and at the time it was only about 7 months old. So that's 62,000 subscribers in the space of 7 months, which is amazing. There's Official Divine, over a year old, probably going to 2 years, but consider in just 2 years, they've crossed over 200,000 subscribers, which is crazy. Briefed is another channel I really love, over 120K subs, probably about a year and a month old. Lindsay Nicole, 1.6 million subscribers. LVL Rock, I have about 40,000 subs. Just a 1-year-old channel. And there's Myron Golden, whose channel I really, really love, has about 850 subs. Fun fact, in 2001, he had just 10,000 subscribers, which is quite amazing growth. And there are guys like Jevi, who's really, really funny. He has about 640K subs right now. 2 months ago, fun fact, he had about 401,000 subs just 2 months ago. So my point is, people are still blowing up, and it could be you if, having like a massive following is what success on a platform like this might mean to you. The second reason I think you should start a YouTube channel is because content is a leveraged asset with outsized return on investment. There's so many videos on YouTube with people who have much smaller channels than you would think. So think of 20,000 subscribers, 30,000 subscribers that talk about how their small YouTube channel has made them millions of dollars in return, simply based on the viewership that it gets and how that viewership translates to clientele, especially for people who offer niche services. So when you think of things like horse training or dolphin training, different things, maybe even car fixing for like very, very niche or specific cars, or pimp my ride services, but they made millions of dollars. Again, content or attention, maybe attention is a better word, right? Attention is a leveraged asset that has outsized returns. What becomes extremely valuable, whether you have great storytelling or not, the thing that is very valuable is having a piece of real estate on the internet that is yours, i.e. distribution. And there are so many YouTubers who started out just creating content, but over time, because of the kind of content they created, that became something that went into, oh, I want to sell this particular product, which makes sense because Daniel Priestley, I think he's one who says this, where he says everything is downstream of customer acquisition or downstream of marketing, right? Because you have customers or clients or an audience that you talk to, it's a lot easier for you to go into production because you already know what your audience would like for you to produce and market or sell to them that will be valuable to them. The third reason is just landscape of things, right? The content form of YouTube. So when I think about, I can't remember which book I was reading this, but they said something like newsletter is still the most valuable online asset you can have. Russell Brunson, for instance, talks about how for every newsletter list you have, ideally, you should be making $1 a month for each individual on your newsletter list. So it's so valuable. So after newsletter, next thing is SEO. Extremely valuable, having that search engine juice, having a good ranking on the search engine. But the third most valuable channel in most cases is actually having your own YouTube channel. One of the things that makes YouTube extraordinary is long form content, which means people can get to spend a long time with you And the more they spend time with you, the more they trust you, the more you can build relatability, likability, and so on and so forth. You don't typically get that in many of the other channels that exist. You can't do a 1 hour video on Instagram. You can't do a 1 hour video on TikTok, obviously. There's this guy, actually, I can't remember his name, so I'll just put his video here. But he literally has a video that is about, I think it's about 4 hours long. It's ridiculous. But that video has over 800,000 views. 800,000 views on a video that is over 4 hours long. That's incredible value that he's giving to that audience, and incredible likability that he has built. Will he sell to all of them? No, he won't. But he doesn't have to. What matters is if out of the 800,000 of them, just 1% or even 0.1%, that's what, 800, decide, yeah, I'm going to buy something in this space, he will be the go-to guy because they've spent 4 hours of their lives with him watching stuff he put out there. So that makes YouTube very, very valuable, especially for building your brand and selling likability. Long form content really differentiates YouTube. Plus, you have monetization from YouTube, which is what most people think about when they first think about YouTube. But the truth is, there are many ways to monetize on YouTube, whether it's from Google's program or it's from sponsorship. There are tons of ways people monetize on YouTube. The fourth reason you should do YouTube in today's world, distribution beats products. That's the truth. There's something John Lee says that I think is so true. He says, best known beats the best. I went for an event in London where he spoke, and I thought that was so incredible when you think about it. It doesn't matter if you're the best, if nobody knows you. Like, people will buy a really crappy average product that they know because they know it exists. And like, you don't exist if you're not known. You don't exist to anyone who doesn't know about you. So even if you're the best, you don't exist unless people know about you, which means distribution is more important than product. If you build it, they will come isn't true, because they won't come if they don't know.
Good to know.
Again, you want to have as many ways to put out anything you build online or even anywhere, really. You want to have as many ways to make it reach the maximum number of people. Of course, you can always buy ads. I've bought a lot of ads doing different things over time. But when you buy ads, you don't own that audience. You pay for every interaction you have with that audience. So ideally, you want to have ownership of the audience, beats marketing to an audience, which generally beats product. The fifth reason why you should do YouTube, irrespective of how you feel about, oh, I don't want to be popular, or I want to be popular, whatever the case may be, is really just personal development. Like, you learn so much. You learn speaking skills, learn communication skills. I'm learning a lot doing this. It feels very uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable. This is my first long form video.
What should we do about that?
It's the longest video I've ever tried to do. And to be honest, this entire thing is new to me. I'm shy doing this. I'm uncomfortable doing this. But I'm like, yeah, it's fine. Whatever. I'll just try to put out hopefully valuable content out there. It does not come to me naturally, but hopefully, if I do it long enough, I'll get good at it and to feel natural. Continue. The sixth reason is you have fun. Like, you experiment, you try something new today. This works, this doesn't work. It's exciting. Like, I remember when I created a channel that, I said blew up really quickly and got to 4K subs in like 3 months. I was refreshing like every day, and that was a lot of fun. So yeah, why not? And you learn about yourself. You get to learn what are the quirks about you that people actually really like maybe the way you talk, the way you laugh, the way this, the way that. So you get to learn those things, which is cool, and it's free. And it's a great way to immortalize yourself. Like, once upon a time, people used to immortalize themselves using books, and we still, as humans, do that. But video content is even better. It's an even better way to immortalize yourself. For example, even in my case, my dad died when I was very young. I was a kid. Not a sad story, not an uncommon story, no big deal. But because of that, I didn't really have. There weren't really so many pictures of him. Or videos of him, so my memory of him is very, very, very gray. If there are more videos, if it was on YouTube, I would have more of that. So it's a decent way to immortalize yourself. Again, it really, really matters why you're creating a channel. If you're creating a channel to sell a niche service or to create attention for a niche service, for instance, 10,000 subscribers is a large number of people who can subscribe to your service, like actually make a purchase. 10K is a massive number of people. If you don't have something you're selling, then maybe you do need 100 million subscribers or 50 million subscribers because you're not really selling anything, but you can always change that, right? So I would say, in fact, before you define what success is, I would say, if you're going to do it, commit to a certain number of videos that you say, I'm going to make sure I output X number of videos. In general, most people say 33 is a good number. I'm going to output 33 videos before I ever think, is this working? Is this not working? Just shut up, put your head down, and do 33 videos before you talk about, oh, you didn't work. People do 2 videos and they're like, yeah, this thing doesn't work. I only got 2 views. Like, what did you expect from your 2 videos? Like, the algorithm doesn't know you. They don't know if you're serious, if you're committed, if you keep doing this. They're not going to push your content. In general, the mindset should not be 33 videos, and if it's not working, I'm going to stop. I think you should 33 videos. If I haven't figured it out, I need to carefully look at what I'm doing that isn't working well, improve it, and go for my next 33. I think 100 is actually a good number for you to be like, I'm quitting. I would say 33, then improve, do the next 33. If for some reason at next 33 you're still not doing well, then maybe actually seek other YouTubers and a community around it. Then define success for yourself. It's very important to be able to say, yeah, this is what success looks like to me. Otherwise, you might be chasing something that is even unrealistic. If you have a niche service, for instance, like you want to use YouTube to push, it's unlikely you will ever have 50 million subscribers because it's a niche service and you don't need 50 million subscribers. It's very important to define success for yourself. For anyone who is considering YouTube, it's definitely worth the effort. You could probably launch a channel, work very hard, and it doesn't work out. Your pride would be hurt, but you won't die. You'd have learned so much from doing it. Maybe your pride's hurt, but you'll be fine. Whoever chooses to laugh at you for trying and failing, if you fail, they can only laugh at you so many times. At some point, it kind of gets old laughing at someone who's failing at something. And something tends to happen where if you keep going, even if you're really bad at it, people start to root for the underdog if the underdog just does not quit. They go from maybe laughing at you to actually supporting you. Worst case scenario, you learn a lot. You pick up skills, you learn about yourself, you probably make friends, you probably figure out how to help other people not make the mistakes you made. But truth be told, if you stick to it and you're keen on experimenting and learn as you go, you will almost indefinitely become successful and you'll grow a thick skin. So if you're thinking of starting a YouTube channel in 2025, I would say just start. This is maybe my 8th video. I suck and that's fine. It's okay to suck. Embrace the suck. Start afraid, start badly, but start anyway. And hopefully, a few videos and a few years down the line, it might actually be worth the effort. Have a good day.